bothers the newer teams, so it's factor as well.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, there's always going to be crazy factors into games like this, you know, and you never know what could possibly happen. It's Mobile Legends, you know, just one team wipes all it takes. I mean, we've seen Blacklist International be pushed back against the wall and then just literally flick a switch and then sent it back at the enemy. And I mean, I think it's gonna take some severe planning, some aggression, and I mean, I think a player's skill ultimately, right?
Yeah, yeah. And I don't know about the planning, by the way. I was thinking about this the other day,
Yeah.
and like, you might, it's not like a full plan on the game. It's more of like you have this like core points into the game where you can plan what you're gonna do in advance. Like, for example, if you take the Lord, you push with the Lord, like like this kind of stuff. But you cannot plan all the game. It's most likely going like the way it goes. It cannot be planned because you cannot plan enemy actions. They are unexpected, so you kind of cannot plan, because what if you plan he gonna go for the red buff and you gonna do this, and he not going for the red buff, he going for the blue buff, and you don't have the plan. You can't have plan for anything happens in the game, so you gotta like react in the at the moment.
And I want to make a correction to something that I stated earlier. It looks like the 1, 2, and 3 make it off to the playoffs. So even if Twisted Mind loses here, they still have a spot secured in the playoffs. It's more.
You're gonna do
I think
this?
it's more of just they still have a spot secured in the playoffs. It's more.
You're gonna do
I think
this?
it's more of just they still have a spot secured in the playoffs.
Mention it, is the one running for the most MVPs currently in Games of the Future.
Yeah, he's definitely a wizard in the mid lane, and they're going to have to watch out for him. He has a very high hero pool, but I'm also going to be keeping my eye on the XP laner, Kid Bombo, who's been kind of a rising star in the Mlbb scene with performance in M5 and also overall so far within the Game of Futures 2024. As we are going to be seeing these teams getting ready to jump and land a Don, let us know where you guys think this is going to go, because honestly, I'm thinking through it, and I'm not really sure, because I would typically lean toward Indonesia just because they're a stronger region. But when I see Deusvult and what they did in M5, it kind of makes me unsure. And it makes you think they may be possibly able to do it. We didn't see them lose to an Indonesian team inside of M5. We saw them lose to the Philippines with Blacklist. So this time around, they get a shot to go up head-to-head with Indonesia.
Yeah. The thing here is, I have a prediction here for RQ Hoshi and Deusvult. It's definitely a 2-1. But I'm not going to say who's getting that 2-1. It's definitely a 2-1. It's looking to be like a 2-1, right? Like these two teams have competed. RQ Hoshi, you've seen their record. Deusvult as well on how they played in M5. Definitely, I think this BO3 will end up in a 2-1. Not unless, you know, the momentum is tremendous in that first game. And we did kind of talk a little bit about that earlier on, right? Whoever gets that momentum the first game, it will definitely. The amount of like pressure it has to be able to play in the match point for either RQ or Deusvult later on.
You know, funny enough too, we actually have a caster. I casted with War Barbie in day one on these matches, and he played. He's a former player for Deusvult. Funny enough, he was the 6th man on their roster back in the day. So it's kind of cool to be able to see them in the competitive scene again, and also have a caster on the desk representing out from their respective region. If you are looking, like we said, at the schedule so far and some of the results that happened in today's matches and also yesterday, a lot of amazing gameplay. But we also got to take a look on the bottom side. We didn't really get to go over that Group B and Group D.
Yeah, Group B and D, we got the, of course, Group D has a Burnex Splash there. You got on, actually, it's a pretty stacked group if you think about it, right? Burnex Flash, Onyx, Team Flash, and KBG that you guys have last seen in the M5 wildcard. Little trivia about that team too is that they're actually playing with two players remaining from their M5 wildcard lineup, and then they got in some new players coming in, right? Like because they announced some players actually will not be moving forward with the team. So let's see if they will actually come back in. And this is developing region too, like KBG for China, right? And I think there's so much potential there. A lot of people have anticipated their arrival here in the scene, but let's see how this will pan out. All of these teams that are playing here in Games of the Future are stacked.
And as we are looking at the schedule, like definitely going to be an interesting match ahead of us between RQ Hoshi and also Team Lil Gun. Now, the bottom brackets looking promising. Onyx, I can't wait to see what they do. They did get the 2-0 sweep up against Team Flash. We know how strong of a team they are out there from Indonesia. And then they have RQ Hoshi behind them. Two amazing teams to kind of represent. Now, I will say, Homeboys versus AP Bryn. Homeboys getting taken down. They also got taken down by North America. TOB was able to kind of shut them down inside of M5 as well. And then AP Bryn, the champions from M5, slowly making the way to the top, representing out there for the Philippines. You got Homeboys up against S2G, 2-0 sweep right before they got taken down. So this is going to be fun to watch, right? I mean, the closer and closer we get to the grand finals, I wonder what it's going to be. Normally we see it being the Philippines kind of leading the way, but there's starting to show a lot more promise in some of the prospective regions.
Yeah, I love how the MOBA scene here for Mlbb gets so much more interesting every single season. And you know what Games of the Future is actually providing everyone is kind of like a glimpse at what we'll see in either your region. It's NACT, for me it's MPL Philippines, and for the rest of the world, right? They have these major tournaments before they head over into the next major tournament, which will actually be coming right up mid-season, right? Like we have the MSC coming right up too. So this is kind of like a warm-up from all these teams, right? We haven't seen the meta just yet. A lot of these people are getting the ideas too right now on what actually works in the professional scene.
Yeah, and speaking of the professional scene, guys, let's just kind of paint the picture of everything that's on the line today, right? This is Game of Futures 2024, currently sitting inside of the group stage. Day 2, as you are looking at that schedule, tomorrow will be the quarterfinals where all these teams, or not, stage 1, and then the quarterfinals right after that, where all these teams are getting closer and closer to the grand finals for that $1 million cash prize. We get to see 16 teams so far competing it out from all of your favorite regions across the world on this stage today for the biggest prize pool that we've ever had in MLBB history. Like we said, it's just a pleasure being able to cast these games and be a part of this amazing scene alongside a cast who I've never got to cast with, which is amazing, Burger Kim. Nice to be able to meet you and also cast alongside you. We definitely have had some interesting games together. I don't think me and you will ever forget that last match that we just watched. So,
well, the last series actually, in particular, actually, I wasn't expecting to be casting like in Games of the Future too, but when it was announced, I was so stoked, right? Like I was like, wow, these are like top teams. RQ, you got all of these like champions coming in, so it's really exciting. And everyone didn't have any of that MLBB action. I mean, we did have those the usual pocket community tournaments that are happening, but major tournaments like this is gonna be the first time we're seeing everybody up. And I love how we both have kind of like the idea coming in from your side. You got the NACT meta, and for me, I have that MPL Philippines meta that I can actually put out here for everyone to kind of digest in. But looking at the schedule here once again, we just witnessed Little Gun and Burmese Schools. Burmese Schools will be moving forward in a 2-0. We're still waiting here for the match of Deusvult and RQ Hoshi here. That will be the final match of the day for the Group A. So we'll actually find out the overall picture later on. You guys have to watch out for Nightmare as well, and Fireflux, RCC, and Blacklist International for the final match of the night. I actually am happy that I kind of casted almost all of the regions already as of the moment, right? Like I casted in Mekong, I've seen Nightmare, I've casted a couple of Blacklist International show matches, and Deusvult and RQ Hoshi. This is gonna be a first time milestone actually for me. I'm not so sure about you, Steph. Is this also a milestone for you?
Oh yeah, it definitely is being able to kind of cast a lot of these international teams. Like I said, usually I'm more kind of locked into my perspective region for North America. I do get to cast with a couple of international casters though, which is fun. I mean, one of our NACTs, the spring season, we flew Naisu out actually to be able to cast in person with us on the desk, which was super fun. But like you said, this match is on the way. It is going to be RQ, Hoshi, and Deusvult. All these teams are currently getting ready, getting set up and everything. And while they're getting set up, now's a good time to kind of talk about currently some of the things to expect, at least with the draft, right? If we do an overall pool for the statistics of the game of futures so far, most pick hero is going to be Ruby, sitting at 14. This is similar. Now, I'm going to kind of compare this to North America and what I usually see. The Ruby is always picked up. We're currently sitting in our qualifiers for NACT. We're within a battle of top 16 right now, trying to get to the top 8. And usually most teams will prioritize this. Right behind that will be the carry alongside the actual. The only difference here is the Claude is very low on the board for me. I feel like the carry and the Claude are almost hand in hand, at least in my perspective region when it comes to things. But I mean, about in the Philippines, I would assume that it's probably the same kind of thing. But as we do have Kim is still with us. The cameras just having other plans. I think Nico came around and knocked it out for a split second. But as we are looking at the current meta, like we said, the Claude, the carry, just some staple marksmen that definitely have a huge impact. The Natan, we got to see that kind of jump into the last match. I really wanted to see that kind of play into the game of futures like I do in the NA scene. And hey, we were able to see some great gameplay with it from Stitch. And now we are into the draft, the match we have all been waiting for. My personal opinion is I think this is going to be the best game inside of the group stage from A, B, C to D between RQ Hoshi and Deusvult, a team representing the banners for Indonesia with a little bit of additions to their roster, going up against the 4th place contender in M5, straight from Russia, Deusvult. You are going to go ahead and see some of the bans on the way. Octa is going to go ahead and lock in that Faramis for some sustainability. It's actually a Faramis and a Mathilda, which is a double support meta. You don't have to worry about the Barats falling because he has not only the guiding wind to keep him alive, but also the Nether Realm. On the opposite side of the table, though, it looks like they traded for a Guinevere and a Claude. Both of them, like we said, some of them, when we popped up the most picked heroes, they were in there as some of the strongest picks. So I wonder if that's going to affect RQ Hoshi synergy. Was it worth trading the Faramis? The Valentina is still on the table. I mean, it could be a viable option if they do want to have some heals, especially up against that Faramis. But no, they're going to go in for the Navaria. I mean, that's something that we've been seeing time and time again. I'm starting to feel like the Valentina response to the Faramis is only an NA thing because I have not yet seen it inside of the international scene. So I will say the Navaria is good. I mean, it can fight from afar. The Astro Echo will provide massive CC slow to the enemy team and has a pretty big blanket in terms of AoE effect. The Claude is a great answer to the Faramis. I mean, when that Netherrealm does go down, the Claude can pretty much undo it with the AoE damage that it can affect with the Blazing Duet. Mathilda, I'm surprised this one walked. We said it's the most banned hero so far in Game of Futures, but it looks like it was able to kind of walk through this one, and I'm honestly a little shocked about that. What is it a make or break with letting that slide through? Time will tell. A couple of bans on the way, though. The Bruno is going to be banned out. That is one of the marksmen being limited. Looks like that was one of their possible worries going up against that Claude. Now, RQ Hoshi, they've had such a great run so far inside of the group stage. They were able to take down Team Low Gun. When it came to marksmen, though, they actually had the Claude in game 1, and then they had the Beatrix for game 2. They didn't really pull out a Bruno, and so I'm wondering if that's do they go for the Beatrix again? Do they go for the Brody? I mean, there's great dive. There's some really good dive on the side of Deusvult, especially with the spatial migration from the Guinevere, the Blazing Duet, and the Battlement Earrings from the Claude. That's engage and disengage, and also provides a lot of survivability for them on the team. Arlott has not been banned out. If Deusvult picks up the R-Lot, that is going to synergize so good with the Navaria and the Guinevere. And honestly, I don't know if RQ Hoshi notices this, but if that walks, I can pretty much guarantee you Deusvult should pick that up, because the Demon Gaze is gonna proc almost instantaneously when the Astral Echo goes down from Sunset Lover on the Navaria, and also Magister when he rushes in with the Violet Requiem.
Yeah, wow, what a draft from RQ Hoshi and Deusvult. Well thought of here for both sides, and I think looking at the draft here of Deusvult, they got a good setup here. I'm anticipating this might be either a Sawo pick, or maybe even goes to Kid Bomba here, who really loves to make the plays in the XP. But looking at RQ Hoshi, this is kind of like the same lineup that we've seen in the game earlier up against Burmese schools, right? Where we've seen a Barretts, and now this time it's going to be paired with the classic Matilla. I love this. So much mobility, and they also got that sustain coming out from that Netherrealm from the Faramis. So I think this kind of goes to show that RQ Hoshi is pretty much willing to go for the team fights that Deusvult actually wants to happen.
Yeah, I'm still expecting the R-Lot to walk, though. I mean, this is a great time. Deusvult has first pick now. They have Prio, and the R-Lot would be an excellent pickup for the XP lane, but they're going to go in for the Ruby instead. I mean, okay, I get it. Ruby's the most picked hero so far for Game of Futures 2024, but the R-Lot would have been such a great answer with that Demon Gaze that it could have provided, but at least they have a little bit more sustainability. So they have a lot of CC now on the side of Deusvult, from the Navaria, from the Guinevere, and also from the Ruby. RQ Hoshi, yes, they have the Faramis, but I mean, Faramis requires a couple of things to be able to provide the most optimal setups for the team. You got to stay close to him for that Netherrealm to keep you alive. And Deusvult has a big CC pool, and they want that to happen. So RQ Hoshi is definitely going to have to play a little bit safer on these 5v5 engagements.
Yeah, they got that Faramis too, like all of the answers towards the Faramis. You got the Ruby to tug it in. You got the Guinevere to set up the plays. Now they still need someone to go in the jungler, someone for Magister to pick up. There's still the Martis here, like kind of like an anti-CC for their side. Great early game. The Nolan's already out. I was actually thinking about Deusvult actually picking that up, but this actually leaves in like only a few options here. And there you have it, right on cue. Just I mentioned that the Martis is going to be an anti-CC. A great early game from Deusvult. They pick it up here. This is looking really scary for both sides. It seems like it's going to be team fight heavy type of composition for both RQ and Deusvult.
I will say, though, Banana picked up that Benedetta again. We saw that in game 1 up against Team Lowgun, and that really made the difference between him and Skylar being able to pressure the side lanes and win on the 1v1s. I mean, you see Banana oftentimes rotating around and being able to clear that side lane and get to the mid lane with ease and out-rotating their opponent. And then the same thing, Skylar just easily able to gap his enemy marksman. So it is going to be a challenge over there for the side of Deusvult, but I do like their draft. I'm actually maybe favoring their draft a little bit more than RQ Hoshi. I think both of them are pretty strong. I just like when it comes to how synergized the side of Deusvult is looking, there's going to be a lot of CC, but there's a lot of sustainability to work into the favor of RQ Hoshi as it's now getting ready to jump into the most anticipated match of the Game of Futures 2024 group stage. RRQ out from Indonesia going up against Deusvult from Russia. Who will be able to claim this series?
Yeah, Busco going out to give the vision here for RRQ Hoshi, knowing that Magister actually started off with that red buff, maybe possibly just trying to be a menace here, or a nuisance rather, in the jungler here up against Deusvult. Even Octa is here rotating towards them, but Kid Bomba though on the top side, a solo kill being picked up there by the owl being punished.
How often do you see a Ruby fall this early in the game? Is one of the most sustainable heroes, especially on a 1v1. I mean, a Ruby can 1v3 when teams try and dive her, just with the amount of CC she has available. Kid Bomba just kind of being a little too overly aggressive. Gotta put some respect on Banana with that Benedetta. I mean, he's a Benedetta main so far, at least for the Game of Futures, with how well he's been executing. But I will say, Kid Bomba, another up-and-coming prospect in the XP lane, can definitely give him a little bit of a challenge. But you are going to see the other death on the other side of the table. That is going to be Sawo who did pick up the assist. The kill went to Magister. That is the jungle for the side of Deusvult. She's going to put him a little bit ahead of Irad in terms of these rotations and farm.
Oh, looking at the emblems here too for both sides, RQ Hoshi, a lot of those quantum charges coming out from Banana and Brusco, just to have that extra mobility for their team. And RQ right now, lots of pressure on the XP lanes, a thing that we've seen in other teams too. Pressure out the XP lanes so that they can have this really good position when it comes to these turtle fights. And we all know that the turtle fights, it's a tug of war between the two teams. Sao does not have that ultimate just yet. Turtles at half HP, and it's actually going to be a reset here by both sides. 1-1 in the 2-minute mark. No one's still in the lead right now, but everyone is looking to take it in for themselves by at least taking in the first objective here, which is going to be the turtle.
You know, and I kind of said I was favoring Deusvult's draft, but honestly, I'm liking both sides. This may be the best drafting I've seen so far in Game of Futures 2024. Both of them have great synergy. You have the Mathilda to use the guiding wind to be able to keep Barats alive and get him to safety when needed. There goes that circling eagle over there, wrapping around from Brusco. You're going to see Banana taking some damage, use the elective on a blow. Irad will be able to claim the turtle from the side of RQ Hoshi, and now a possible punish play. Magister very low, special migration in. Sawo takes down Banana. Octa finds Magister. Both sides still even on the scoreboard, 2-2, but RQ Hoshi takes the first neutral objective.
Yeah, definitely a better trade there. Let's take a look at the replay. What actually went down was Banana goes in for the Electo final blow, and then you got in that netherrealm from Octa to save the day. It was a 1-for-1 trade. Banana was punished, but for the price of Magister, definitely worth it here for RQ Hoshi.
Definitely worth it indeed, but it's still pretty even in terms of the economy. You're looking at RQ Hoshi leading by about 700 gold. Keep in mind, this is one of the top regions in Mlbb, Indonesia. Deusvult's definitely having a lot to prove here on how far they have came as a region from Russia, right? They placed 4th place inside of M5, taken down by Blacklist from the Philippines, but now gonna go ahead and show Indonesia what they're about. RQ Hoshi looking stronger than ever though. With that first neutral objective, we'll go ahead and give them a massive XP boost and a good start for the early phase. Looking at the side laner, Skylar is going to be running this Nathan, going up against Hiko on this Claude. Both of them late game damage dealers, but definitely can hit very hard if both teams can scale. So I would say needing to kind of put some pressure in the gold lane would be a really good start for either side if they want to try and take advantage, at least for the early game, and have mid control.
Yeah, there's a lot of potential here too for split pushes coming out from RRQ. They got the Benedetta. They also got in that Nathan. But there you go, Irad getting in Sunset Lover there. Nice setup there by Brusco to enable that play coming out from RRQ Hoshi. This is big, especially before the turtle fight. You don't have the vision coming out from the Novaria, and this is something that they definitely need right now because you see the zoning that Banana has been doing, and at the same time the Netherrealm to keep everyone healthy when it comes to these team fights. Magister are going to be starting it up. Let's take a look at the items here. So far, we actually see the Claude here. Hiko actually picking up the corrosion side, and for Nathan, it's a very early pickup on the penetration boost. So he actually wants to go in for that magic burst damage. And then to add it all up, I think he's building up that Holy Crystal for his next item.
Ooh, special migration with the knockup. Astro Echo going down from Sunset Lever, forcing out the Nether Realm. Everybody's still intact though. Turtle does get reset. Both teams still fighting it out. Detna's welcome connected. Irad for the stun on the wall. Kid Bomba trapped.
Gets petrified.
Like of Banana, but Kid Bomba able to get out in time. Big play, huge evasive maneuver, and Kid Bomba able to sustain himself. Both teams still fight it out. Turtle at about 50% HP. You know, it's funny enough when you see Mathilda grabbing up Irad, I don't call it a drive-by. It's a flyby with how they can get the setup. With Banana, we'll find Magister over there, gets one, and another Turtle going to RRQ Hoshi, and now leading by 2 kills. Irad, though, out of position, may need to get back. Brusco, Octa trying to get him to safety. Guiding Wind, able to slide out of there. The stun, though, Octa going in, trying to deal some damage. We'll be able to escape a good save for RRQ Hoshi.
Yeah, gets that guiding wind out, and this is exactly why the Matilda is the most picked, most banned currently in Case of the Future. Even though with the adjustments that were made to it, it still provides that kit that the team needs, but especially since the team fights right now, it's so much more evident than the previous patch. You got all these heavy CC, the rubies, the minotaurs that seem to be the prio pick here of a lot of the teams, and with the Matilda, it just provides so much shield. You see how much Irad was taking in earlier, and with that guiding wind, just like that, he was able to escape that clash. You see how fast the turrets are being pushed here over at the top side and the bottom side. The same case that happened also for Burmese Fools. The space that is being given here right now. Look at all the creeps. It's being taken away here by RRQ Hoshi up against Magister. That has been picked off twice already in this game.
Yeah, RQ Hoshi just way quicker to these objectives, putting Deusvult in an awkward position. Hiko very low. Skylar rushing in, able to deal the final blow, and gets back out to safety with the power of entropy. 5-2 on the scoreboard, and now up by 4,000 gold. You did see Irad pick up the blade armor too, already prepping for Hiko as he gets a couple more of those core items, such as that golden staff
Magister
to deal with those basic attacks. But Magister rushing in is going to use the mortar coils.
Oh,
Brusco very low. Violet Requiem for the double setup. Magister hits the decimation, takes down Octa.
Irad's still alive.
Linebacker now may be able to go in, but Rat's very low. We'll go back to Skylar, finds Sunset Lever from afar. 6-3, RRQ Hoshi leading the early game.
Let's take a look at that replay. Nice circling eagle there for from the side of RRQ Hoshi. They got that nice setup from Sawo though, and that tug in from Kid Bomba. It was only Octa that paid the price there, and that's what we really get when you have that Nether Realm up, right? Like, you're able to sustain anyone, you're able to do all these aggressive dives that RRQ Hoshi has been doing even under the turret here of Deusvult. Here comes the vision coming out from the side of Deusvult. I think it is going to go to the side of RRQ Hoshi here, but here comes the Circle Eagle once again from Brusco.
Connecting a full bullseye on the Magister. Able to get away though. 1 HP escape. Nether Realm proc. Octa getting away. Good saves from Brusco so far with the guiding win on this Matilda. I guess we're seeing why it's the most banned hero of Game of Futures 2024. I mean, just look how well he's executing on keeping his team alive. Not only providing the escapes, but providing the shields when necessary to negate the damage.
Wow, look at the gold here of Banana, 6,370. A whole lot more than what Kin Bomba has, who's standing at the 4,399. I mean, even the Matilda here has so much more gold. And look at this, ongoing fights all across the board. Sawo unable to get that setup, but Irad's taking up a lot of the damage this time, not able to get out the Blazing Duet to clear out the waves. And that is going to be Irad for the price of taking in the turrets here. It is still going to be Deusvult finding something out of that one.
It's funny you were talking about Banana's gold. He even had more gold than Hiko, and he's in the gold lane. That just shows you how well Banana is performing today, as you are going to go ahead and see the Lord take the tier 2 turret on the bot side. The map opening up for the side of RQ Hoshi, claiming majority of the real estate for Deusvult so far, having a hard time responding, and now down by 5,000 gold. Highest kills on the game is a tie between Skylar and Banana. A battle from the side laners who we mentioned having such a strong game, especially when they went up against Team Logan. They had a hard time just beating them on the one-on-one matchups in the side lanes, and this is where RRQ Hoshi thrives. You're able to see Skylar often be able to beat his opponent in that lane, and the same thing with Banana running the Benedetta, able to out-rotate. But speaking of rotation, Sawo checks the
nice
push.
setup.
Fish migration in for the setup, and now the Nether Realm response from RQ Hoshi, full sending it. Kid Bomba very low, gets away, but Banana electro final blows to safety, and neither side will find any casualties.
Oh no, but Irad right in the middle of everything. Sawo does not have that setup just yet. Irad can pretty much tank up any of the damage being tossed out here by Deusvult. 10 minutes in, RRQ Hoshi with a 32k lead. And of course, the real estate that is really pricey these days, and something that RRQ Hoshi definitely has in this game. Not only that, they can also get all of the resources around the map. Deusvult not able to take anything in as of the moment. And 30 seconds in, we're going to be seeing the first Lord of Gate spawn in the Land of Dawn. As for Deusvult, they really need to have these nice setups coming out from Kid Bomba or Sawo here. And so far, they've been getting it. But what's really hard is Octa's been popping in that Nether Realm, which is kind of like everybody's health is all the way back up to full. So pretty much nullifies what the setups are doing. But what they really need right now is going to be the Blazing Duet coming out from Hiko. I saw that he actually picked up the Demon Hunter Sword already, maybe going in for the Golden Staff for his next item. So he should be able to dish a great amount of damage once it at least reaches the 15 mark of the game. But RRQ Hoshi is not letting up. They're going to be taking in this Lord without any contest at all from Deusvult.
And Deusvult needs to watch out for Skylar. He's already 2,000 gold ahead of Hiko. I mean, you see how fast he shredded down that Lord, and that's just kind of a little bit of a preview on what he's going to be able to do if it comes to these 5v5 engagements if Deusvult is not careful. Now, they need to find a way to turn this around, right? It's not too far out of the ballpark yet for them to have a chance to turn this game in their favor, but they may have to start playing for the late game. I mean, you're seeing this Lord crash in. They're down to their inhibitors already at the 12-minute mark, and RQ Hoshi going in for blood. Tetsusawa has to use special vibration to get out, but Skylar will find Kid Bomba on the top side. Elect to find a blow.
There's the petrify.
The stun. Jorgensen's Blaze Duet forced out. Skylar will find the inhibitor, opening up the base for
the Totus will come.
Now the counterplay. Magister very low. Netherrealm going down. Skylar with the mega kill finds Magister. 2 members down for Deusvult, and the base has been cracked open. RQ Hoshi completely dominating this last 12 minutes.
Oh, it's only Sunset Lover, Sawo, and Hiko left to defend. Can they make it? There's a lot of minions coming in here, crashing in the base of Deusvult. They still got that Blazing Duet, though. Can they defend this one? 12 minutes in. RRQ Hoshi just taking it in. Kid Bomba with a nice tug, but there comes the clapback here from RRQ Hoshi. Banana! Wow, 2 for the price of none. RRQ Hoshi. Everyone's still alive right now.
Yeah, the Astro Echo does connect, providing a lot of slow on RQ Hoshi, but they're still taking the fight to their home turf. They're not pulling no punches today, as they're going to try and go in for some more. Looks like they want that last inhibitor turret. It may fall. Deusvult trying to contest, giving it their all, but RRQ Hoshi holding that Indonesian flag high, letting them know, Viva RRQ. Deusvolt's definitely need to find a way to turn this around.
11.3k for Skylar here, and Hiko standing at 9,000. Yes, he does have the core items here of the Claude, but the timing here of the Netherrealm too is something that they have to watch out for, not to mention the free hits here of Skylar, who hasn't been shut down just yet. 401 rather on the Nathan. 45 seconds in. One more Lord here could actually be it here for the side of Deusvult. They got the Nathan here. They got the Barretts to tank everything up, not to mention the shields that Brusco have been providing. Iran has already picked up that Immortality, so kind of gearing up for that final fight here up against Deusvult.
The seal play has been called out, though. Special migration for the knockup. Debt is welcome going down. Sawo taking some heavy hits, is going to be able to get out to safety, making the most out of the Guinevere with engage and disengage from that spatial migration. But now, look at RQ Hoshi, already on to the next objective. They've been doing this entire game. That hive mentality, everybody moving as a unit. Gonna go in for this Lord, and Deusvolt's not in a position to contest, but they may try to, as look at Kid Bomba, thirsty for a set. He needs to open this up for Deusvolt if they have a chance. He has the offended ready, but can he get it? He's gonna use it. He finds Brusco, but is that the target he really wants? Brusco able to get away. That is
Banana
the
from the back,
not the target you want. Banana wrapping around the backside. Electric final blow. Looks at the Blazing Duet from Hiko, connected to the members of RQ Hoshi, but not dealing massive damage. Major utility off the board for both sides, but RRQ Hoshi gaining control of the Lord pit. Now they're going down. Skylar will find Sawo. They're going in for the kill. They don't need the Lord. They want to finish it. They are on the chase. Banana with the split push capability, showcasing his mastery on this Benedetta, forcing Deusvult back into the base, and they will claim this Lord uncontested.
You see how RQ Hoshi was just baiting out all of those ultimates, baiting those purifies from the side of Deusvult, so they don't have anything once they head into the Lord fight. It was a free Lord for RRQ. Banana even cleared out that wave on the mid side just to make sure that the minion waves will go to the side of Deusvult, pressuring them to go back to their base. 15 minutes in, 50,000 for the side of RRQ Hoshi. It's almost an 11k lead for the Kingdom, and they're looking to take in this first game up against Deusvult. Here comes the Lord. 50-minute marks, the enhanced Lord for the side of RRQ Hoshi. The only thing here for Deusvult to do is to have that setup, but right now the mobility, the shields that is being provided here by Brusco is not something that they can easily deal with. Here comes this setup from the side of Sawo, but Brusco comes in with a clapback.
Yeah, Astro Echo will connect too as well. Forcing out the Netherrealm. Octa gets killed. Skylar finds Cywolf. You're going to go ahead and see the Blazing Duet go down. Lord almost bursts it out of the game, but makes his way to the base. Crystal, 50%. Octa gets a double. Takes out Kid Bomba. 10%. Skylar finds Hiko, and down goes the base. Viva RRQ takes game 1 up against Deusvult in group stage winners match. My goodness, what a show.
I mean, this is what we expected, right? A matchup just like this. RRQ Hoshi and Deusvult. RRQ Hoshi just stopped the tracks here at Deusvult. Like, they got that Matilda, which is actually one of the top picks right now. And you can understand why these teams have been banning it away. You see the shields that were provided. And not to mention, RRQ Hoshi had that Netherrealm from that Faramis. So every single fight here from RRQ Hoshi, they are sure that they can come out alive. Deusvult had some nice tugs there from Kid Bomba, some setups here from Sawo. There was the Purify, there was the Netherrealm. So there was just so many things that Deusvult had to consider once they go for the setup plays.
My ground was shaking beneath me. I feel like there's an earthquake going on in Indonesia with how well RQ Hoshi was performing right there. Just some flawless execution, right? If we just start from the very beginning, they were laser focused on every single objective. They took every turtle, every lord, rotated around the map. Both side laners, Skylar and Banana, their capability on what they provide in the side lanes just as a solo individual is scaling over majority of the teams that they have faced so far in Game of Futures 2024. Deusvult needs to find a way to win in the side lanes first if they want to turn this around. We saw Kid Bomba. He lost in the 1v1 matchup up against Banana in like the first minute and 20 seconds. And not just on any hero. This was on a Ruby. That's the most sustainable hero in the XP lane. You definitely have to play it a little bit better if you're going to have a chance to turn this around and even out the series.
Yeah, the thing about that XP lane matchup earlier, yeah, both were really good picks coming out from both RRQ and Deusvult, right? Like, the thing that Banana actually did there in that early game, he didn't have that elective final blow, and even Kid Bomba does not have the ultimate just yet, but he had that Petrify, right? The pressure on the XP lane is so heavy right now, which is kind of why you see a lot of these players have actually been prioritizing the XP lane pickups. You see sometimes the CC being picked up first, the Ruby, right? Like, being picked up first, and even the Paquito as well, which sometimes is a priority pick for some of the teams, but it goes to show how heavy the impact of the XP laner is right now in the current meta.
Yeah, and we didn't really get to see Kid Bomba really open up these engagements, especially with the Ruby. You have the I'm Offended. Your team's kind of waiting for you to get that initial setup so they can punish. But oftentimes, he wasn't grabbing the right targets, right? We've seen him grab the Matilda out of everybody. And I mean, that's the last person you want to grab. It's just going to guiding wind right out of there or use the circling eagle to safety. And then you don't have the setup potential that Deusvult is looking for to be able to fight on these neutral objectives. And honestly, just some great execution from the side of RQ Hoshi for game number 1, as we are going to do a blast from the past, a little bit of showcasing on that flawless execution. Irad able to get that turtle, and then the aggressive play, the full sin into the tier 2 turret for the top state. Spatial migration from Sawo takes down Banana, but Octo will find Magister, a 1-for-1 trade.
Yeah, the thing here too about the Deusvult and RQ Hoshi's team fights here is not only do they have shields, not only do they have the Netherrealm, but Sawo really had a hard time setting up the plays here, right? Like, it was only possibly up to Kid Bomba to make in the place, because look at the spells here for RRQ Hoshi. That's 3 purifies from their side. So you can imagine the frustration too of Sawo. Like, he gets a nice 3-man knockup, but you know, having the Purify in, there's really nothing much you can do unless you catch them in a position where they don't have it, right? And even up to this point, like, you know, all of those ultimates being tossed, you're still able to escape, all because of the Netherrealm, all because of that guiding wind from the Matilda. And we did mention it was going to be an all-out brawl here for both sides, right? Looking at their team composition, this was just screaming team fights after team fights, and RRQ Hoshi definitely did that so well. I have to commend Banana here on the early game. He gave so much space here for Skylar to be able to scale up on his lane. And by the time, like, Skylar was activated, Deusvult really didn't have the answers to that. A lot of the zoning has happened here in the Lord Pit. You see how Banana was actually zoning in the back lines for Irad to actually take in the major objective versus the Lord. A lot of ultimates too have been invested, but at the same time, the vision here of Deusvult was not enough. The sustainability was way too heavy here for them to take, and even with the really good setups, without the follow-up, there was absolutely nothing that they could do. And we did mention a lot about Skylar. Actually, this is twice that we've seen the Nathan on the MVP. Earlier, we've seen it too on the Burmese schools in the hands of Stitch. This time, it's going to be Skylar rocking it in. 865 gold and no shutdowns just yet from Deusvult here in this entire game.
The man is a problem, and not too many marksmen have been able to go head-to-head with him. He's been able to kind of gap every marksman he has faced so far, but if the side of RQ Hoshi, if their team was a book, the glue holding the pages together would definitely be Octa, right? He was running on that Faramis, and it wasn't giving a lot of credit to him keeping the team alive. He was doing a lot of good things with the Nether Realm, waiting till a couple of the members would get low, and then putting them pretty much back to full HP. And then also giving credit to the rotations with running that Mathilda to also keep them alive when things got a little tricky. There was a lot of guiding win plays and overall some flawless execution over there from Brusco. I think the double support meta stacked up with the Barats is very hard to deal with, and it looks like Deusvult just did not have an answer. Jumping into the next game, I mean, I think me and you both can agree that we may see that Mathilda banned out.
Yeah, I mean, the first pick for RQ Hoshi, definitely they will take in the Matilda, and then you pair it up with the Barretts. Definitely a combo that is super sustainable, to the point that even with the Blazing Duet here of Hiko, there's really nothing that Deusvult can do in all of those clashes. And not to mention, by the time Skylar was activated, it was really something that they had to think of, right? Skylar had that Purify, Sao couldn't take him down. Hiko also had to take into consideration that Banana was actually trying to take him down too in the back lines, and Sunset Lover too. Even with the vision that he was providing, RRQ Hoshi just stands on top when it comes to those team fights, and it was all because of the double support method that still worked out really well. And at this point, the Faramis also built it to be like a magic damage Faramis, right? Getting that cult altar up, and to think about it, if I'm the one playing the Faramis, right, like clicking that ultimate is gonna be so vital. Like you have to know when to click it, you have to know when to time it too, and that's actually what RRQ Hoshi did so well here in this match. The timing of the ultimates and the team fights executed so well all throughout this game.
Yeah, and you know, when it came to the draft, you know, Kid Bomba picked up the Ruby. I really wanted to see the Arlot walk into that, right? I mean, there was so much CC that he could have profited on, especially with the Guinevere and Sunset Lever on that Devaria. That's just like a well-synergized combo. The Ruby's great too. I do think it can kind of, the Ruby's one of those heroes that can fit in pretty much any draft. But I just feel like the Arlot could have kind of profited a little bit more. We didn't really get to see them explode too much in the side lanes, and they lost all of the objectives in the early phase. RQ Hoshi, eyes on the prize, laser focused, able to kind of have that beehive mentality, right? They're all moving as a unit. One sound beat, able to take every single objective at a moment's notice. And I think if Deusvult wants a way to turn this around, they have to first start off by being patient inside of the side lanes. You cannot overextend. You know Skylar is going to beat you in that gold lane. It's just been proven with how well he's been performing in Game of Futures 2024. So instead of trying to test out how good Skylar is or how good Banana is, just play safe and wait for your team to either rotate to the side lanes or to win the neutral objectives. I think that's where you can beat them. If you try and take the 1v1 matchups, it's just been proven RQ Hoshi can just do it a little bit better.
Yeah, the thing too about the lineup here of RQ Hoshi was team fight eccentric. I mean, you have to be grouped up, right? Because you got the Matilda, you got the Faramis. There's really nothing to worry about. Even if you do those turret types that we've seen several times in that game. I mean, I would have been scared to take those turret types, but you know, with the Matilda, with the Faramis, there's really nothing much to fear. And RQ understood that every single team fight, they commit to it and they execute it really well. And for Deusvult, they tried to get in those setups, but again, the Purifies are such a nuisance. Not only the Purify, the Nether Realm, and the shields being provided by the Guiding Wind, it's way too much to handle there for all the team fights that Deusvult wanted to happen.
And keep in mind, guys, the winner of this series is going to move on to stage 2 of the playoffs. Nobody's getting knocked out here. This is just a battle of placement in the playoffs. Whoever loses this series will go to stage 1. and you'll be seeing them compete first, which means they have an easier chance of being knocked out because they're not as high on the bracket as whoever wins this winner's match. So far, RQ Hoshi does have the slightest advantage. They are up 1-0. This is match point. They have a chance to get a sweep over Deusvult, but this is Deusvult we're talking about, right? They placed 4th inside of M5 for a reason, taking on a lot of heavy contenders and taking the world by a storm. We just got to find a way for them to get alive in the early game. Like I said, I don't like seeing one-sided stories. I want to see this go to a game 3. I'd love to see matches that kind of keep you at the edge of your seat. And I think they are a team that could potentially do this.
Yeah, for RQ Hoshi, Deusvult, we are expecting a 2-1 coming out from this BO3, right? And Deusvult was considered one of the dark horses back in M5. So I think coming in here, it is going to be really interesting too to see how Deusvult will kind of take this back to the driver's seat, back to their team. And for RQ Hoshi, right, if they want to take this entire thing, let's see what kind of adjustments that Deusvult will make ultimately in the next game. And as for RQ Hoshi, I think they're that kind of team that just kind of adjusts to what the other team will bring out here. And it's gonna be crucial too who's gonna be on the blue side and who's gonna be on the red side.
Yeah, it's definitely going to be crucial. I want to see which way it goes. Like I said, this match, I anticipated it being the best one out of the entire group stage. But honestly, I mean, I really enjoyed the last one with Nico and Bebex just as much. But I want to see Deusvult turn this around. I want to see them be able to have a way to get back into this series because they are a heavy contender and one of the underdogs that I would consider. RQ Hoshi, I guess you could say the same thing because they did not compete in the M series, but they are from one of the best prospective regions in Indonesia. So we are going to be going to a brief intermission video real quick before we pan into the next round. So guys, don't go anywhere. Grab some popcorn and enjoy. See you guys in a little bit, but make sure you guys check out the next match.
What is the scent? Do you feel it? What does it smell? This is the smell of the fear, the scent of the battle. I am really scary, but this is the scent of the win too. You know why? You know why? Because today is the group stage and let's go find out how it's going on.
Еще!
With who you gonna play today?
With Deusvult.
Are they strong?
Yeah, strong. They are strong.
Are you scared of them?
No.
You scary?
Why? We will try our best to beat them.
Хорошие оппоненты.
Хороший оппонент.
Да, кто лучше задрафтит, тот выиграет.
Там 40 секунд, это уже не задемо.
Are you nervous? No. Are you scary? No. Nobody?
But called yes.
Called yes. Can I show? Can I show? Look at this. Oh. Is she a hero from the Mlbb?
No.
No?
My girlfriend.
Your girlfriend? Oh.
Первым лордом забирать сразу Т3 — это очень сильно.
He's focused on the game.
No, this is just custom.
He don't listen to me. Она для чего?
Для подготовки руки.
И это помогает тебе в игре?
Ну, не знаю.
Ну, может, как психологически, да, разгружает?
Да.
Посмотрите, как у него кресло опущено. Это для того, чтобы резко лечь, быстренько поспать и снова в игру.
П разворачивает Икс, свою ульту должна всех добивать.
How your day is going on?
We're just watching some games. This is the group that we're playing in. So I think we're getting some ideas from how they're playing. And then, we'll be playing against Homeboys later on in a few minutes, actually. So I think we're pretty much set.
Валентину добить, Валентину забрать, есть такая возможность.
Какую бы суперсилу хотел бы из игры?
Давай я гляну героев.
Так, я вижу Пикачу.
I just want Link Super Bowl. Link.
Link Super Bowl.
Yeah. Then I want to jump every wall.
Jump everywhere. So you can hide and seek some girls.
Of course.
Thing like Paquito.
Paquito?
He can punch everyone.
Everyone.
Yeah.
So you want to punch everyone?
Yeah.
Oh my god, I'm scary of you.
Я бы хотел телепортацию.
Телепортацию?
Да. Probably teleporting because I really miss my girlfriend. Тоже телепортация.
Может быть, летать? Ты бы ограбил банк?
Нет, зачем мне эти банки? Я бы не летал на этих самолетах по 2 часов. Нет,
телепортация
сильнее.
You're telling me that you are missing your girlfriend because we are filming? Because she can see.
I actually do. But if I find this video anywhere, I'll probably send her.
А вот это вообще не кстати потеря. А зачем? А как? Почему?
Ну что ж, дорогие друзья, мы с вами все наблюдали за групповыми этапами. Было вайбово, было тепло, было очень круто. Ну, а результаты вы сами все можете увидеть на своих экранах.
And we are back. Welcome back to Group A Round 2 after that amazing intermission video. Now, let's just kind of talk about what we've seen so far. We're currently on the winner's match for Group Stage A. We got to see RQ Hoshi go up against Deusvult for round 1. And man, was it a show. RQ Hoshi completely dominated, more of a one-sided match, able to take control in the side lanes. Banana and Skylar paving the way for Indonesia so far.
Yeah, RQ Hoshi right now, they're looking to take in the game number 2 because they're already on a match point up against Deusvult. But yeah, the thing here is Deusvult's going to have that first pick. Matilda might actually, right on cue, Matilda will be bad out. Here's the thing about the players. Like, before I even say it, they actually do it. It seems to be a thing. Even with my cast with Private yesterday, we were just talking about the Nana, and then it pops into the draft. Deusvult, this is understandable. This is one of their top band heroes too. And I think you wouldn't want to give that advantage to Irad that can really rock those early game heroes, those burst types, those glass cannon types of heroes. So Nolan is not really seen so much currently in the meta, but it's still, I would say, a choice that you can pick up if you want to go for that early game snowball. RQ Hoshi definitely has that potential. Right now, we're looking at the bans on a Guinevere, or perhaps maybe even someone wants to take out the Ruby, but it is the most pick, right? So someone either going to take or ban it, but as of the moment, right, there's so many things that you can still take out. The Fanny being respected here too. Deusvult just locking in their target right now, and it seems to be Irad as of the moment.
And the way this is looking, I mean, usually with RQ Hoshi having second pick, I think they're going to try and get the CC. I don't see them banning it out. I think they're going to try and bait Deusvult, and I don't think they're going to expect Deusvult to pick it up. So I think they'll try and get the CC here. And then maybe since they don't have the Matilda, go for like some single target CC. It seems like that's their plan. Grab the CC and then go for like a Kaja. Or we've seen them run the Cho before too in this type of situation, the way the draft played out. And they may actually be able to pull it off. I wonder if these folks will pick up the CC if it is available. That has been one of those heroes everybody was wondering, is it meta? Is it not? But after seeing Game of Futures in day 1, I can definitely tell you it is. As you are going to go ahead and see the R-Lot taken off the table from the side of RRQ Hoshi. One more ban on the way before we have our first pick. Now, Guinevere is still an available option. We've been seeing a lot of teams first pick the Ruby. The Barats has been first picked a lot too. I mean, these are all some strong pickups, but if it comes down to it, I'm willing to bet RQ Hoshi picks up this CC.
Yeah, even the R-Lot here, that is a rising pick for all of the teams here. It has great CC. It can be on the XP, pretty much a very flexible pick. They take away the Joy too, that is pretty much like the Nolan. Once it gets scaled up in the early game, it is going to be really an unstoppable force. And if you don't have those suppression, you can't really deal with that. Right now, Deusvult, they can pick up the Guinevere. They can pick up the Ruby, these CC heavy heroes for their first pick. The Matilda's already out, so maybe they can go with the safe pick, or maybe even pick up the Barretts for themselves, right?
Guinevere probably, because they ran Guinevere twice yesterday up against Burmese Schools. When they had the option for first pick, they definitely slotted it in. So they may actually run that. No, they actually might get CC too, though. There may be a chance that they get CC. It's either one of these teams is going to get it. If they let RQ Hoshi get it, it's definitely going to be a problem, especially stacked up, like I said, with that Kaja. But Deusvult kind of plays similar to them. I wonder if they go for that, though. Or, I mean, you could go for the Barats, like we mentioned. It's been such a strong pickup. Pair it with a support. I mean, the Faramis is on the table. You still got a Rafaela. But no, they're going to go in for the Ruby. This is a little bit of a shocker. So we got to have to see how RQ Hoshi responds.
Yeah, the Benedetta ban coming through too for Deusvult that really made it hard, right? Earlier for Kid Bomba, and the Benedetta is just so mobile. And then you paired it up with the Matilda in the first game. All two of those heroes are out. Now RRQ Hoshi can still go for. I was thinking of like a Barrett's, but right now you did mention a lot of the CC, the Guinevere too that could have been picked up by Deusvult, and RRQ Hoshi just got these two very stacked picked up for themselves. Setup plays CC. I think at a point I'm getting so confused right now. Are we talking about crowd control? Are we talking about the hero CC? Because
Yeah, you're right.
it seems to be all about these things, right? The crowd control, CC, team fights. I think this is what I see for both sides. They want to have these team fights, and Deusvult right now they might want to consider going for the Novaria. That seems to be a pickup here that Sunset Lover really loves to go for.
Now, I'm curious if RQ Hoshi will go in for the Faramis here. I mean, it would provide a lot of sustainability for their team to keep them alive. I think it would be a strong pickup. And then maybe later in the draft, they pick up a single target CC like a Kaja or a Cho because they already have some major things checked off the board. They have great crowd control from CC and also Guinevere already, and disengage from both of these heroes. So if they add a Faramis to the table, they can keep their team alive. And then you stack that up with some single target CC, like some suppression from the Kaja. And that's a really well-calculated draft, I would say, for RQ Hoshi if they do pull that off. But they may force out the Diggy pickup, though, as they are going to go ahead and pick up this Minotaur. That's a smart decision because, like I said, I would see them taking up that suppression if they didn't. But I wonder if RQ Hoshi is even worried about it or not. Will they go in for the Diggy? It seems like Deusvult is trying to bait them into doing this, especially picking that up when they still have another pick before the bans start. And is it worth going for? I feel like they could do it, though, because they have the Guinevere with the CC, but no, they're going to go in for their mage pickup instead. They see the frontline composition forming, right? You have the Minotaur and you have the Ruby, and what better way to burst them down than to getting Gloom with this Lilia, one of the best early game mages available.
Yeah, I mean, in terms of the range, you definitely have to give it to the Novaria, but for the Lilia, it can clear out the waves so fast. I like that this is going to be the answer to these heroes that are pretty much melee, right? Like the Minotaur, the Ruby. It also has a Black Shoes if you want to escape death, so you can kind of have that second chance. And then for RQ Hoshi, yeah, they can pick up the Diggy here. They can totally do that, but is the Guinevere going to be in the XP lane, or is it going to be in the jungler role, or is the CC going to be in the jungler role, or is it going to be in the XP lane? That's going to be a big thing that they have to consider too, like the overall picture of their lineup. They take away some of the gold laners here. Both sides still don't have any gold laners just yet, so they take away the Iksha. That is also really good, right? Like you got these heavy frontline composition, then you pair with the Iksha. That is a lot of range, like the Novaria and then the Iksha. It's going to be so good in team fights. So I like this ban coming out from RQ.
You know, and it's funny too, because normally you would see teams pick up the Diggy to respond back to that in that position, but it just shows you how comfortable and confident RQ Hoshi is not to go for that direct counter, but to try and work through a Minoan Fury. Now they do have engage and disengage. I guess technically you have, if you run the Purify on the Lilia and then you use the Black Shoes, then you can pretty much go back to safety with no problem. And the Guinevere, again, the spatial migration, she can get away just in time before that Minoan Fury drops to get out. And then, CC is one of the most mobile XP laners so far. So all of them, good answers in terms of disengaging from these sticky crowd control situations. But there's a lot of openers for these fights, a lot of set potential so far for Deusvult. They have the Ruby to be able to go in with the I'm Offended, and also a lot of sustainability from the Ruby. And then you have the Minotaur who can keep everybody alive, continuously healing them, and also providing that knockup with the Minoan Fury. And then to top it off, Sunset Lover, this is becoming a repetitive pattern. He really loves playing the backline mage. Like, he likes going in for these Navarias that can fight from afar, use the Astral Echo, provide even more slow, and deal some massive damage to the team. Now, the Arlot is banned out. I would have loved to see the Arlot on the Deusvult combination here. I think it would have been great, but they already have the Ruby anyway, so it wouldn't have really worked out. So I would say there's just a lot of crowd control. We need more damage, though. We need to see some massive damage from the side of Deusvult. I would say in the early game and kind of late game, technically.
A late game. Claude. Yeah, I think Claude will be either picked up here by RQ Hoshi, but looking at Deusvult here. Like, both haven't picked up their gold laners. They take away the Fredrin too because they're anticipating that they haven't. This might actually just be an XP lane CC, and then you got the Guinevere on the roam position. They might go for the Barretts. I'm not so sure this time. It can still pretty much be a pickup here for Irad, or maybe you can go for something surprising, like maybe an assassin here. But you know, in a CC heavy type of composition, it wouldn't really be good to pick that up. Deusvult still needs their gold lane. I think the Claude might be picked up here by Deusvult once again. I mean, it's mobile. It's really good when it comes to the laning phase, right? It's PMI, can escape any clash, and Deusvult here has a very good setup plays. Ruby, they got the Minotaur too, and now Irad. What's it gonna be for them? Deusvult is really taking their time to pick up their heroes here. Maybe pick up a Barrett here for this side, but they got a carry for the side of Arakiyoshi, so it's not gonna be easy. But I guess, you know, they want that heavy front line so that their backliners like, you know, Sunset Lover, Hiko can shine here. So insane amount of burst here from the Claude, and then the vision from the Novaria. I like this lineup coming out from Deusvult, but RQ Hoshi has the answers to that. The carry, the early game too with the Guinevere and the Lilia.
And they stole the Barats. You know, I would have thought the Barats, like you said, would have been a good pickup for RQ Hoshi, but they're going to go in for the Dairoth instead. I mean, it's some great burst potential, especially up against a beefier composition. There's a lot of frontline composition for Deusvult. The Ruby, the Barats, the Minotaur, all of them able to provide that frontline presence. But the Dairoth, he loves taking it up close and personal, and I think it's a really good decision from the side of RQ Hoshi if they can execute it. But speaking of execution, guys, we are inside of Group A Round 2 in the winners match. Currently looking at Deusvult up against RQ Hoshi. This is a possible game set 2-0 sweep in the making for RQ Hoshi if they play their cards right, and we'll be able to move on to stage 2 in the playoffs. Or will we see Deusvult take the world by surprise again? The Rising Stars from M5, placed in 4th place, taken down by Blacklist, able to even out this series 1-1 as we go through the tunnels of the virtual arena into the land of dawn. We go. Which way will this play out? Who will claim victorious?
Yeah, I wish we had that virtual tunnel so we can go straight into the land of dawn. I mean, this is RQ Hoshi on a match point right now. Deusvult right now. The thing with their lineup is it's good that they have this heavy front line. And it's going to be up to the Banana here and even possibly Brusco here to, pick off Sunset Lover and Hiko. And just as I was saying that, there's the Purifies coming out from Sunset Lover and Hiko just to make sure that they don't get caught up in the setups here by Brusco. And even to a point, the zoning here from Banana will be a problem here. So for RQ Hoshi, their winning condition here is to take down the backlines once this scales up. But as for Deusvult, they have this good early game too that can go at par with RQ Hoshi right now. We don't have First Blood just yet, but all these players have been poking at each other. Brusco as well, giving the vision to RQ Hoshi. But here comes Magistar though. Nice knock up, nice take in, and that's going to be the First Blood being picked up by Deusvult.
A good start for them as well, playing patient and waiting for the opportunity. But now Irad rushing in to the 3-man team of Deusvult, but Octa from afar trying to use the power of Gloom. Does not have level 4, he does not have the black shoes. Needs to be careful. Neither side will fall in that engagement. Deusvult, though, like you said, claiming First Blood. As we are looking at a couple of the emblems on the way as well. It's interesting enough, there's 2 Concussive Blasts and then also 1 Brave Smite for the side of Deusvult. So they're playing very sustainable and frontline oriented. And then you can say the same thing for RQ Hoshi, except it's a little bit of a flip as there's 2 Brave Smites and 1 Concussive Blast for their side, but still a strong frontline presence, which means when it comes to these 5v5 engagements, there's going to be some up close and personal fights.
Wow, Skylar is doing a really good job poking at Hiko here, making sure that he stays under their turret. And now we're going to be seeing a team fight coming in here. Banana going to be forced to use in that Vengeance. Turtle at half HP, made at 1/4. There goes Brusco with the setup. It's going to be Irad picking it up with the Retribution play. But there's goes Magistar. He gets bursted down here from the side of RQ. There's a nice setup here from Sawo. Minoan's Fury onto 2, but everyone from RQ Hoshi is still alive. Kid Bomba gonna be able to sustain all of that. But Brusco says no. It is gonna be just a projection of him. So much pressure from the side of RQ Hoshi. Bomba gonna be able to tag this one up. He's able to sustain, but not for long as RQ Hoshi gonna be able to pick off Kid Bomba, but for the price of Irad.
Well, I mean, I feel like they kind of won that trade, though, because they got 2 kills for 1 with the full extension of RQ Hoshi really trying to go in for Kid Bomba, I don't really feel like that worked out in their favor like they planned it to. Oh my goodness! Hiko able to take down Skylar, but Sunset Lover, a sniper in the making with this Navaria.
This is exactly why you need to take it down. You need to take down Sunset Lover, and that's the thing. This is the mission for Brusco and Banana and even Irad here to take down the back lines. And so far, the setup here from Brusco, Hiko did not pop in that Purify just yet, knowing that Sao is in the vicinity. Gets in that nice knock-up. The snipe coming out from the backside from Sunset Lover. Chunks Brusco to 1 HP, forced to back away 30 seconds before the next turtle is up. And so far, Deusvult is actually looking pretty good here in the gold lane.
Everybody from Deusvult, except for Kid Bomba so far, getting a piece of the pie. They all have 1 kill. Spread across the board so far, 4-2, leading by 2 kills overall, but only down by 400 gold. RQ Hoshi still maintaining the gold despite the kill difference, as they were able to take that turtle in that first engagement. Now, Hiko was able to get the first kill over onto Skylar. Normally, you see Skylar have the advantage in the gold lane compared to most marksmans, and I would say Deusvult is up to a good start. Now, the question is, can they maintain their slight lead, or do we see RQ Hoshi take this turtle yet again and be able to gain control of the early phase?
Yep, you just called it. RQ Hoshi, just like that, takes it in with the retribution. I do like the vision being provided here by Sunset Lover, but the way that RQ Hoshi contained that turtle pit, they aren't able to get in. Like, Brusco was there just waiting in for the setup. Like, even the members here at Deusvult, the tankiest members, are gonna have second thoughts before they try to get it in. Here comes Magister with the engage. It's gonna be the nice Minoans viewer on the 3. That's gonna be Brusco. Irad checking up all of the damage.
Whoa.
He's gonna be forced out, but gets tugged in there by Magister. That's gonna be Deusvult taking down Irad once again. Nice trade-offs there, but it's still gonna be RQ Hoshi just leading by a 400 gold lead. Let's take a look at that instant replay here.
Yeah, putting RQ Hoshi on a trampoline with that Minoan Fury triple knockup, sending them straight to the moon. 5-2 so far, first 5 minutes, and RQ Hoshi able to take both turtles, but falling short on these kills. They are still ahead of gold, though. Making up the advantage from having these neutral objectives is keeping them in this game and in a slight lead. Hiko off to a good start. Like we said, able to get a kill onto Skylar. May delay the late game for carry. Looking at Irad, not off to the best start either. 1-2-1, already finding 2 deaths so far. Magister 2-1 so far on the scoreboard. Highest kills in the game overall, and really outscaling so far inside of the jungle.
Yeah, but Banana's just like diving right in with his yo-yo. Even on the bottom side, that's gonna be a lot of pressure. Black Shoes being popped here by Octa. Sky's just me chalking down that tower onto the bottom side, able to take it in, but it's still alive with 1 HP as RRQ creating in that pressure on the bottom side, understanding that there's gonna be that power spike too from Hiko, right? And if they don't, they kind of leave him unchecked. He's going to be able to wreak havoc here up against RRQ once it comes to the late game.
Yeah, and now the next turtle does spawn in. This will be the 3rd one of the game. Both so far have gone to RQ Hoshi. Is the 3rd time the charm for Deusvult, or will they let another one slip through their fingers? As you already seen RQ Hoshi in a great position for the contest. Brusco waiting to hit that spatial migration. You can just feel him itching for the setup. Astro Echo connects though. 3-man set over there from Sunset Lover from afar.
Yo, Banana here. You know, when that CC is just using that, yo, it looks so innocent, right?
God.
Look at the damage it's causing, even up against Sao. And right now, Banana, Brusco goes in with the dive, gets in Kid Bomba. And that's going to be RRQ picking up 2 kills for the price of none. Hiko! Force use in that blazing duet. Not able to take anything in as Irad confirms the kill. RRQ Hoshi going to be able to take the prime position once again to the turtle. This is the thing that RRQ has been doing since game number 1. Taking in objectives after objectives as Deusvult cannot take anything in. 2k gold lead, now making that a 3k lead up against Deusvult.
Yeah, and keeping them in the game, and also putting Skylar ahead in gold, now above Hiko by 1,000, even though he took a death over him in the early phase. But now with the scoreboard equalized and the economy leading into the favor of RQ Hoshi, they may be able to open up this map more in their favor as they took the turret on the bottom side. But Kid Bomba very low. Sawo with the knock up the Minoan Fury. Two-man set onto RQ Hoshi. Skylar will take him down, though. Magister is connected with Deton's Welcome. Finds Brusco. Blazing duet from Hiko. Rushing on to Skylar. May be able to get him. Does get the kill. Deusvult claiming the lead 7-6 in terms of kills, but still down by gold. Sunset Lever is going to connect with Astro Echo. I'm offended. Connect. Irad very low. Bomba on the chase. Banana taking him down. Hiko very low. Vengeance proc by Banana. Sunset Lever will find Irad. You're going to see Banana able to get out of there as well, providing a lot of presence with this CC, a major annoyance so far, harassing Deusvult.
Yeah, see, this Banana hasn't left the jungle side here at Deusvult, just making sure that Magister and Sawo are contained while the rest of RRQ has been just working in those towers after towers. 2 towers taken in by the side of RRQ Hoshi. Even though the gold lead is not that much, what RRQ Hoshi has more here is going to be the turret takes. And this is the same thing that they had. Turrets, objective gaming is going to be the thing here. 30 seconds before the Lord, and with the space created here by RRQ Hoshi, they should be able to take in this Lord. With Deusvult having a harder time to contest up against this. What can you say about the items here, though? But speaking of the items, Kid Bomba, though, gotta be getting it from Brusco here, as it's gonna be a 2v1 situation with Kid Bomba unable to do anything at that point.
Yeah, and speaking of the items, Skylar will pick up that Demon Hunter Sword. We'll be able to soak into that Barats with that high HP pool. He does have the Corrosion Sight, and on top of that, the Golden Staff. A lot of core items working in his favor as he takes the Tier 2 turret on the top side.
Oh, nice setup there by Sawo. Banana as well. Popping in that Vengeance. Astral Echo from the backside. Sawo's gonna get chased here by Banana and Irad. I can't believe that the CC is causing that much damage, forcing the rest of the members here, Deusvult, to actually back away. Not only that, the glooms coming out from Octa is starting to hurt a lot too. They take in the mid tower right before this first Lord, and RRQ Hoshi is gonna looking to take this Lord in, with Deusvult actually backing it away. Brusco finds another setup here onto Kid Bomba. Irad working up on that Lord, and just like that, deleted from the map. Kid Bomba gonna get taken out as Deusvult not even able to get near the Lord, as RRQ Hoshi will be taking in this first Lord of the game.
Taken every single neutral objective so far, haven't lost a single turret, and now leading by 1 kill and also up 4,000 gold. RRQ looking stronger than ever, holding that flag for Indonesia. Deusvult now forced on the back end, needs to have a counter response to be able to turn this game back around into their favor. Hiko on a one-on-one up against Banana. Sawa joining the party, wants a piece of it, wants to make a Banana split. But you are going to see a little bit of split on the map. Deusvolt's taking it in the mid lane up against RRQ. Brusco with the space migration, not going to be able to connect. Sunset Lover does hit, though, with the Astro Echo and the snipe from the Astro Meteor. Man, some heavy presence as we are seeing the Lord on the top side make his way to the base of Deusvult.
Yeah, no, Sunset Lover here hasn't been picked off just yet, standing at a 204. So RQ Hoshi has to kind of respect that too. Like every single time they go for a clash, you got that Astral Echo, and by the time that Sunset Lover will be able to pick in either a Divine Glaive or even those magic damage penetration items, it's gonna be really hard, right? RQ Hoshi looking to take in the Lord. As long as they can take it, as long as they can take all these major objectives, they should be able to pressure out the lanes here of Deusvult. Map control totally for the side of RRQ Hoshi. 6 turrets, and all the Lords, all of the turtles went to the side of RRQ Hoshi. 37k lead for them as Deusvult is holding on for their deal lives to extend this to
Hoshi, right? You mentioned map control and their turrets. I mean, they have every single turret still standing, and we are 12 minutes in. Deusvolt's not able to execute into their game plan jumping into this match, but hey, they may be able to turn it around if they play a little bit passively. They're definitely gonna have to play for the late game, though. They can't really continue to contest. I mean, the gold is just way out there now, up by 5,000 for the side of RQ Hoshi as you're looking at some of those items on the board, but they are gonna take the fight. Brusco not gonna connect with the spatial migration, decides to disengage. We are gonna see this Lord spawning in the next 40 seconds. Sunset Lover with the Astro Echo connects to Octa, and will hit Banana, but do they take the fight? Hiko does. Rushes in, chips a little bit of damage on a Banana, though. He's not worried about it. This man's just rotating around with CC with ease.
Yeah. It's a 10k for Skylar. in comparison to
gosh.
Hiko, actually. Yeah, Hiko only has like less than 10,000 here. So that in itself, Skylar has managed to pick up all the items that you need. And you know, you mentioned late game. This is definitely gonna go to the carry, right? All these tanky heroes can be melted down, not unless you get that two-man setup, the chain CC combination from either Sawo and Kid Bomba here. RQ Hoshi wasting no time, knowing that, respecting the fact too that they have the late game heroes here for the side of Deusvult. They're knocking up this Lord, 1/4 HP already. For the side of Deusvult, they're waiting for the proper time to come in, but they aren't able to get in. They're waiting for some type of play.
Ooh.
Astral Echo, but that's gonna be RQ Hoshi getting in that Lord for free, and Deusvult just gonna be letting that one slide this time. 43k gold for the side of RQ, as Deusvult just struggling to even contain their lanes as of this point.
I don't know how many more punches Deusvult's going to be able to take. Is RQ Hoshi very aggressive and winning every single trade. I don't think they've lost a single trade so far. Looking at Kid Bomba, this is the second time he's picked up this Ruby. The last time it wasn't as effective, and it's looking like a repetitive pattern. I mean, he's 0-5-5, highest deaths on this game so far, and hasn't really been able to provide a crucial set with the I'm Offended that Deusvult is kind of relying on, as we are now going to see the Lord make his way down the mid lane.
Yeah, here it is. RQ Hoshi knocking in the doors. Brusco once again with a setup onto Magistor, and Skylar's gonna pick up the kill. Lord is knocking in the base of Deusvult, as Skylar's gonna be chunking in that tower really fast. Inhibitors are gonna be going down here as RQ Hoshi just wasting no time, creating all the pressure on all of the lanes here. Man, this is gonna be really hard. Brusco just setting up the place here for their damage deals to be able to do the thing. And now here comes Sawo with the setup. And the flickers out and the purifies is gonna nullify all of that, as RQ Hoshi gonna still be pressuring in all of the lanes as Deusvult
Sunset Lover, though,
to do anything at this point. Hiko goes in for the Blazing Duet from the backside. Banana gonna be able to soak that up, but Sunset Lover with that snipe kill, able to pick off one, and now Brusco in trouble too. Jumps right
Brusco!
out, one half HP as Kid Bomba goes in for the flicker. Brusco goes down, and that's gonna be it. Deusvult claps back against RQ.
A big turnaround, miscalculation from the side of RRQ Hoshi, and it may cost them some grounding on the Land of Dawn, as Deusvolt's now in control. Will they be able to claim some of these turrets and push to their base? It looks like they are going for it down the mid lane. Astro Echo does connect for the slow on a Banana, on an Octa. Sunset Lover will be able to take the tier 1 turret.
Wow, this is a 4-man rotation coming in from Deusvult. 2 turrets just like that. Hiko gonna be taking in a lot of the damage coming out from Octa. And that is gonna be RQ Hoshi picking up another kill. Turrets are going down one by one. The turret's also exposed here from the side of Deusvult. They don't have that inhibitor onto the top side. 30 seconds in. This should be RQ Hoshi still getting in that prime position for the Lord. They have to watch out for the snipes here coming out from Sunset Lover. 305. He hasn't been shut down just yet.
I love how Banana just walked down the mid lane, and the entire team of Deusvult said, "Oh, I don't want no parts of that. We're just going to go all the way back to the base." And away they went, as now they're back on the defensive stance. That slight advantage that they had now turned back around against them. Banana picking up the immortality. Brusco having it as well. A little bit of a extra blanket of security as they are getting ready to take this Lord.
Yeah, look at how fast Skylar's chunking in that Lord. They should be able to take this one, not unless they're going to be a steal. They're way too far, as RQ Hoshi going to be stealing the deal once again, taking in the second Luminous Lord of this game.
Yeah, able to claim that Lord, which will put him in a great advantage to possibly be able to close this out. RQ Hoshi, one step away from making it to stage 2 in the playoffs. Deusvult needs to find a way to contest. Can they stop this Luminous Lord in the full 5-man team of Viva RRQ? Look at Banana, already ready, trying to bait out some of that utility before the Lord makes his way into the base.
Brusco again with the setup. He finds one. He finds Hiko. Not gonna be able to pop in that Purify just to save it in for something else. But right now, Astral Echo is gonna connect. Lord is gonna be marching in the base. They should be able to chunk this down, but lots of pressure coming in from the side of Deusvult. They're tanking up all the bursts coming out from Hiko and even Sunset Lover. But the base is exposed. They only have one inhibitor left here, and RQ Hoshi's gonna be backing away, respecting the damage coming out from Deusvult too.
Yeah, but you are seeing Deusvult starting to be able to defend very well. I mean, RQ Hoshi is down to 2 of their inhibitors for the mid and bottom side. And now this is officially the late game, meaning it's going to boil down to who can execute a little bit better. And now you're starting to see Deusvult ready to take the fight over to RRQ Hoshi. They're not playing defensive anymore. It's time to play ball.
Look at the
Octa
damage.
forced to use the black shoes. You already see Astro Echo connect to 3 members. That is going to be Irad, Octa, and Brusco with a little bit of that slow. Kid Bomba rushing in, needs to get a good I'm offended, needs to get the set Deusvult is looking for, but Brusco finds it first. There's a migration in with the Violent Requiem, able to get out, 50% HP. There goes Magister, Deadness welcome. Connects to the wall for the stun. Blazing Wet from Hiko into the back line. Almost takes out Brusco, still alive. Irad, very low. Magister needing to get back. Vengeance proc by Banana.
Oh, look at
finding
Banana,
his way
though.
into the team of Deusvult. Immortality's been proc. Octa in the mid lane finds Kid Bomba. Hiko finds Banana. Sunset Lover with the Astro Echo does connect, and that'll be a 1-for-1 trade for both sides, but they are not done. Trying to close the distance on Brusco, forcing out the spatial migration.
It is a 5k gold lead still in favor of RRQ Hoshi. And the XP laner, for the XP laner, the shutdown is going to be a big thing here for Deusvult. The shutdown gold going to go towards their side. Looking at the items here again, this is the point of the game. 19 minutes in, you got those immortalities up. It's going to be really hard to get that pick off. Not to mention the purifies here that Brusco has been doing up against either Sunset Lover or Hiko. Sunset Lover has picked up that Blood Wings too, adding up to the shield and the magic damage it can provide for the team. Low kill scores count actually for both sides, so it is going to be a matter of execution here once it reaches this mid to late game. And RQ Hoshi just going to be positioning themselves here in the Lord Pit, making sure that they take it in before Deusvult. Astral Echo has been committed tier 2, and RQ Hoshi not going to commit anything just yet.
And this is the chance they were looking for this entire game. Deusvult may have a shot to even out this series up against RRQ Hoshi. This will all boil down to this play right here inside of the Lord Pit. And you are seeing Irad already pulling the aggro, trying to force the side of Deusvult to engage, but they are playing passive. They are waiting, both sides, looking for a mistake to happen, looking for an opportunity to engage. Can still play, goes out. Just migration. Brusco connected for the knockup, but only catches Sawo. Didn't get what he was looking for. Will disengage. Lord at 50% HP. Debu now having control.
they're still going
right
for it.
on it. Big stun on the Brusco. Immortality being proc. Irad trying to get in there for the retreat. Sunset Lover will get a kill. Magister is going to claim it for Deusvult. Hiko taking down Skylar. Irad, Immortality being proc alongside Hiko side by side. But Hiko gets the double. Finds the kill. 15-12 on the scoreboard, and Deusvult has done it. They have turned this game around. RRQ Hoshi on the defense.
Let's take a look at that instant replay. What just went down? Brusco was punished there. Magister landing in that nice Detona's welcome onto Irad before he could actually pop in that retribution. The burst is too much here. And now Deusvult, the timers are ticking. It's down to Banana to defend this one. As Deusvult, they're looking to end this. The turn takes around to take us to a game number 3. They're knocking in the base. They can go for a straight push here. Steph, they're knocking, and they want to defend SR. Deusvult gonna be taking in game number 2. We're gonna be heading towards a game number 3. Ladies and gentlemen, we have a series.
That's right, as you are seeing Deusvult knocking on the doors for RRQ, letting them know, ladies and gentlemen, we are going to a game number 3. An epic turnaround, a comeback from Deusvult, able to take that Lord last second. Everybody fighting down to the wire. Immortalities being proc side by side. Double kills. You name it, it was there. But Deusvult come into play and gave him a hard time at the very end. And now the series is evened out. Our official first game 3 in Group Stage A. And better yet, for the winners match to determine who will be moving on to Stage 2 of the playoffs for the Game of Futures 2024.
Yeah, RRQ Hoshi right now. I did say it's gonna be a 2-1, right? I just didn't say who was gonna win the series because we're gonna find out actually once we head into game number 3. And to think that it all went to RRQ, right? The map control, the turtles, all of those objectives they taken in, but it actually kind of bounced back to the side of Deusvult once it reached that the late game already. That one turnaround, that one team fight that can actually turn the tides around on the game. I've seen it yesterday in S2G and Twisted Minds, and we're gonna be seeing it here again in Deusvult and RRQ, which is the reason why Deusvult was actually dubbed as the dark horse back in the M5 World Championship.
Yeah, I mean, this is what we said. If any team could pull this off, it is definitely Deusvult. And they put on a show for game number 2. I mean, RQ Hoshi was dominating that entire game. But hey, once it gets to that late game, turrets are not even necessary. It really just boils down to who can execute more on the team fights on the neutral objective Lord. And that ended up being Deusvult able to bait out the utility and rush in for the opportunity, and they seized it. This is going to put RQ Hoshi in a very tight position now as this series is evened out. Now, which way does it go? RQ Hoshi, I think they did everything right in the early game. In the mid game as well, they just weren't able to close out in the late, as we are now jumping into some of the spicy engagements for match number 2.
Yeah, the setups here were on point actually. For the side of RQ, you see Brusco just pressuring out a lot of Kid Bomba there over on the early game, right? Like, even though he's able to sustain, Banana was able to dominate the lane. And I did mention a lot about the CC earlier, that it is definitely annoying type of hero to lane with, right? Like, you see the knockups here, the setups here from Deusvult was actually on point. There were some times that RQ Hoshi was punished, but ultimately what RQ Hoshi did right here in the early game was taking